Churches have also been affected, but in ways which most people haven't considered. Any church or religious group that dares to deny the legitimacy of same-sex marriage, even inside its walls, can face a wave of terror and harassment. In 2005, the Tremont Temple Baptist Church in downtown Boston held a religious conference on issues surrounding homosexuality and gay marriage. Over 100 homosexual activists came to storm the church, using bullhorns and screaming obscene slogans. Boston riot police had to keep them from entering. They even dragged a coffin to the front door. In 2006, the same church held a televised pro-traditional marriage event inside. Homosexual activists carrying this banner and other signs taunted and screamed at people entering and leaving. That same year, a Catholic group held a pro-traditional marriage rally in downtown Worcester, Massachusetts. They had hardly begun the speeches when homosexual activists swarmed the area, yelling "bigots" and screaming disgusting chants. When one of the rioters rushed the stage, an organizer tried to lead her away. The rioter sued him for assault. He went through a 4-day trial before being acquitted by a jury. The Park Street Church in Boston abuts the historic Granary Burial Ground, where Samuel Adams and other patriots are buried. In 2009, the church held an ex-gay religious training session inside. Homosexual activists paraded through the burial ground, gathered next to the church, and held an ear-piercing bullhorn to the church windows to disrupt and terrorize the people inside. In 2012, a Catholic church in Acushnet, Massachusetts, posted the words, "Two men are friends, not spouses," on its outdoor sign. Over the next day, the church received a flood of profane phone calls, including a threat to burn down the building. Then, at the Sunday Mass, homosexual activists gathered outside the church to harass and intimidate the parishioners. In 2013, homosexual activists targeted Pastor Scott Lively, who had preached against the homosexual movement in his sermons and writings. Pastor Lively had recently opened a religious mission and coffee house in inner-city Springfield, Massachusetts. A group of homosexual Occupy activists came and terrorized the people in the building. In all of these incidents, to our knowledge, the local police made no efforts to arrest the perpetrators or charge them with any crimes, though in the majority of the situations, there were police officers at the scene or nearby. In fact, in our observations, the police were largely sympathetic to the homosexual activists. This is what you can expect with gay marriage becoming official policy. And then there's the slippery slope, the other consequences from gay marriage, affecting not only children, but society in general. The homosexual movement has had its plans in place for many years. Gay marriage was just a starting point. In 2003, before the gay marriage court decision in Massachusetts, the prominent Boston Gay and Lesbian Advocates and Defenders Legal Group passed this brochure out at a homosexual event, outlining their long-term action plans. At the top is marriage, and then their objectives include LGBT youth, Boy Scouts, transgender equality, law enforcement, immigration, and the military, among others. As we saw earlier, to them it all starts with same-sex marriage. In addition, they are continuing the aggressive push to normalize homosexuality in the schools, and it's having chilling results. A government survey of high school students across Massachusetts showed that the percentage identifying as gay and who had same-sex physical contact rose by about 50% between 2005 and 2009. What comes next? The major theme now in Massachusetts is transcending sexual boundaries, and it's going in all directions. Polygamy is no longer an exotic concept, but is being mainstreamed wherever possible. Recently, the governor of Hawaii even admitted that if gay marriage passes there, a polygamy lawsuit by the homosexual movement will probably be next. Sadomasochism is also being mainstreamed by the homosexual movement. Almost every gay pride parade now has a contingent promoting leather and consensual infliction of pain. Not too long ago, cross-dressing was a fringe behavior. Now, the transgender rights movement is celebrated at the highest levels of state government. Men not only dress as women, but get medical procedures to look like women and march in the streets for transgender rights. But as we see over and over, the movement's major focus is on children. Here is a man at a youth pride event in downtown Boston, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. A few years ago, Fox News interviewed us about a gruesome discovery at the world-renowned Children's Hospital in Boston. The two kids in this photo from the Boston Globe were identical twin boys. One of them decided to become a girl. The hospital has set up a gender change clinic for pre-adolescent children to be given hormones and drugs to delay puberty, including growth in height, in order to facilitate body mutilating operations later on to supposedly change their sex. It's being celebrated in the media. And just this year, the State Department of Education issued a directive to schools across the state that boys who decide to dress as girls should be able to use girls' restrooms, play on girls' sports teams, and be addressed by a girl's name without the parents' knowledge or consent. And other students or staff who don't agree must be disciplined or given diversity training. That is the brave new world in Massachusetts since gay marriage began.
As we've shown you, the slippery slope is real. And moreover, all it takes is one state to enact it, and the activists waste no time beginning their work there and in neighboring regions that haven't yet been overcome. Once same-sex marriage gets a foothold, society becomes more oppressive, hammering citizens with the force of law. The judicial system becomes more radical and arrogant, and politicians become more cowardly. And once that concept is institutionalized, other boundaries on sexual behaviors quickly begin to fall. It's interesting that you hear a lot about civil rights and equality, but in fact, many true civil rights begin to disappear, and people holding traditional values become second-class citizens under the law. The push for gay marriage is really about putting the legal stamp of approval on homosexuality and forcing its acceptance on otherwise unwilling citizens and on our social, political, and commercial institutions. To those of you where this is being threatened, do not wait. It is absolutely necessary to call, write, and even visit your elected officials. They must feel your outrage before it's too late. Thank you.